Yo, what's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy here, and welcome to my roster reviews, where we review yours, well, maybe not yours, but somebody's roster that's got in touch on the Discord and asked for it, and check it out. We get to see what they're working on, how many days played, how much spent, total collection power, and having a look at their teams. Now, we try and do these reviews as a community, so if you want to see, if you see anything in there that you'd be working on personally, make sure you leave them down below, because the more comments down below, the more it helps out for the person's roster getting reviewed, and the more it helps out for just as a community checking it out and seeing where they stand, what they're working on, and where their roster matches up with how many days played, how much spent, and all that type of good stuff. So the more people that leave advice down below, it really, really does help out. Hell, you might even disagree with me. That's cool. Leave it down below. I'm intrigued to see it. Let's grow as a community together. Now, if you're interested in getting your roster reviewed, you can join the Discord. The link is down below. Send me a message. There is a small charge for the service, and there are 3 different types, whether it be done within a week, 24 hours, or whether we have a Discord call afterwards and we go through your war teams. All of that stuff is in my Discord if you are interested in getting that done. And basically, the money that we raise from it helps go towards the channel and make more content for Strike Force. So it's like a revolving circle, you know what I'm saying? But enough of me flapping me gums. Let's get straight into it, boys and girls. Yo, what's going on, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy's back for yet another roster review, and this time we are checking out Mr. Jim Bean himself. Jim Bean is part of the Electric Bogaloos. We're gonna rock down to Electric Boogaloo, then we take it higher. I could have been a singer, right? I know, I could have been a singer. And they are in Gold 2 at the moment. He's been playing for about 370 days, but he did lose access to his account for quite some time. In that time, he spent just over $100. Not a huge amount over $100, maybe 110, 120, something like that. His strongest team power is 330k with a total collection power of 2.9 million. He's been more MVP, none as of yet. Total characters collected 126. Characters at max rank are 7. All-time arena rank is rank 45. And latest arena rank is 176. So, his main focus of this one, and I think this is going to be an interesting watch for a lot of people, is building effective blitz teams and war teams. And lucky enough, the two go hand in hand, because you know what? The key component to a good blitz team or a good war team, that beautiful word, say it with me, synergy. Beautiful, beautiful, makes you all tingly inside. So, without further ado, let's get into the roster. Right, so we are starting with the top of the shop, and I tell you what, people's favourites say a lot about themselves, they really do. It's a little bit like your browsing history. Yeah, I'm talking to you. And there is certainly nothing to be ashamed of here at the top of the shop. We've got Ultron here at 56k. We've got Magneto at 54. Phoenix at 52. Jugs at 50. Scientist Supreme at 44. Graviton at 35. Loki at 32. Ella at 30. Aimer Soldier at 25. Aim Researcher at 24. Then we drop down and we've got Aim Security at 23. Thor at 22. Heimdall at 17. Sif at 13.5. And Shuri at 7.6. Now, what we're going to do, guys, is have a very quick look at these who we've got favorited, so we can tell straight away that we've got a bit of a Magneto Juggernaut combo that could be even for Arena at this stage. We've got the Scientist Supreme and the rest of the AIM guys. Now, what I would say straight away is let's not worry about AIM Researcher. I know you got 5 red stars on him there, and I know that's probably leaning your decision towards putting AIM Researcher into that team, but honestly, AIM Researcher, unfortunately, even with the red stars, really isn't the one. Now, I currently, and I'll put my hands up, I currently run AIM Researcher in my team, but I'm going to be dropping them out for security. When I use them in war, I actually use Aimtron to counter a whole host of people, and I put Ultron in there instead of Researcher's place, basically. So, Researcher is not one for the AIM team to really worry about, and even in Blitz you're going to be much better with AIM Assaulter and Security combined with Monstrosity in there than you are going to be with Researcher, basically. Even with the high red stars, Researcher is going to be a bit of a swerve for me. Other than that, go absolutely ham on these guys. Hela's an absolute beast, and Hela's one of them ones that even if she is the top of the shop within the Asgardians and it becomes slightly imbalanced, as long as it's imbalanced towards Hela's favour, not a problem. Loki's an absolute beast, keeping that team survived. Also a huge play in PvP. A lot of people managed to get him through in PvP. Really, really good character overall. And obviously Thor as well. If you're working on those Asgardians, particularly for war, Thor is the big threat. So when you put that arena defense down, war defense down, Thor is the one that's going to hit hard while you're caught up, like battling Heimdall, battling Sif, that type of thing. So as far as a war defense team goes, this is absolutely a great one. Asgardians are currently my highest ranked team, and they will win in 8.3 in Blitz, and they're going to get you an absolute ton of defense victory. Well, you know what? They don't even get that many defense wins anymore. But what they do is draw out them big teams. And war is literally that. Even if you're not getting a defense win, but if you've drawn out a monster team, that's a win in my book. That is a win in my book, because eventually you run out of monster teams and then you're struggling with the counters. So, yeah, without a shadow of doubt, doesn't matter if you're in the armory or the flight deck, Asgardians are a definite way to go. So, that's with the top of the shop, without a shadow of a doubt. Other noticeable mentions here, I would be getting Magneto to level 71. He really needs that extra focus. Jugs is pretty good where he is, but level 71 for Magneto would be an absolute must. So, then we're going to go down to the real top of the shop, and we are starting with the OG Defenders. You know I love them, baby. You know I love them. I put a video out about them yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, I'll link it at the end. Solid team, but I will say, stop where you are, baby. You've done enough on the old Defenders. You can see 72k on Punisher, 69k on Jessica Jones. 72k on Daredevil, 69 on Iron Fist, 65 on Jessica Jones, 56 and 57 there to make up the rest of the team. You've done enough. Leave them be. As much as they will get you through decent Blitz content, Ultima 6, other than that, they're not really going to help you out. They're a tricky one in war, whether it be on offense or defense. I find they're a very RNG team, so stop where they are on that. Then we go to, basically, we're going to start making up a little bit of BKT here with Star-Lord at 63, Groot at 59, Rocket at 57. Now, I'm not sure if I'm not mistaken, we can actually get a clearer shot of that. The reason why I was using this one is so we could see the top of the shop there. So then we go down to Rocket at 57, Luke Cage at 57, Punisher at 56, Nick Fury at 50, and Minerva at 49. Again, you've got that key level 71, which I really, really like. For that extra focus, extra resistance, level 71 is where I would normally stop the large majority of my characters. It's too expensive taking them up from 71 to 75 unless you are looking at Dark Dimension, unless you are looking at Gear Tier 14 for them. That 75 is just too goddamn expensive. Then we've got Thanos at 46k. We've got Ronan the Accuser at 44. We've got Wolverine at 40. Mantis at 39. Drax at 38. Captain Marvel at 37. Again, a really good one to focus for both Blitz and War is Captain Marvel. I think one of the big things is we've moved away from that, let's level the team up together. You know, let's make them all 40k and then we've got a great team. Let's make them all 60k, then we've got a great team. Is actually now we're leaning much more heavily, almost back like we did when the game first came out, towards the big characters, the big AoE hitters, the big like blasters as it were. And Captain Marvel is one of them big hitters. So like a huge Captain Marvel in war is actually still going to pick up defense wins regardless of the team around her, because she's an absolute pain in the arse to deal with. And that's the same in Blitz. You know, she's going to go through there and Blitz, like Ultron will carry a Blitz team. Captain Marvel can carry, but not to the same extent as Ultron can. But a very good character to be focusing on. Rescue there at 36, with 6 red stars as well. Quite nice there. Shield Assault on 36. Agent Coulson on 35. Shield Medic on 35. Now, one thing I will say, with you've got a very good defense team already with Nick Fury, Shield Assault, Coulson Medic. You're getting security there and you're laughing. I can see him just down there. So you want to be taking Coulson up to level 71, Shield Medic and Shield Assault up to level 71. Now, the reason for Coulson 71 is so it makes it harder for the Brotherhood to counter him, especially the OG Brotherhood. The newer Brotherhood still seems to manage to go through them, but the OG Brotherhood struggle because the big thing is getting that disrupt on Coulson early doors. So yeah, it will make them much harder to counter and maybe drag out either an extra defense win or drag out a bigger team. And again, a bigger team, it's a win, baby. Right, 34k on Sabretooth, Shield Security at 33, Mystique on 32, Pyro on 32, Kree Noble on 31. We've got Gamora on 31, ready to go up to 7 stars. Only one red on her though, which is a massive pain. And to be fair, she only really fits in the Brawlers team, so it is not that big a deal. Invisible Woman there at 30, Ghost Rider at 30, 28 there for Mordo, 28 there for War Machine. And we are moving on to Kree Reaper at 28, 6 stars. Kree Cyborg, 6 stars. Kree Oracle, 6 stars. All at the 28 mark. Doctor Strange at 28. Spider-Man at 28. Elsa Bloodstone at 27. Falcon at 27. Storm at 27. Kree Royal Guard, 6 stars, 27. And Miss Marvel there at 27. Now, it looks like you've stopped working on the Kree team. So it looks like you're not going for Nick Fury to 7 stars. And that's not bad at this point in time. Definitely get him up to 6 stars. And it's worth the gold. You know, Fury's worth the gold, without a doubt. But yeah, it makes sense not pushing him straight away to 7 star. But again, you want that in the back burner. It's something to keep an eye on. But you can maybe grind it out a little bit more passively nowadays than what you could. Miss Marvel there at 27. Again, tier 4s in Miss Marvel's passive is going to make that Brawlers team pretty much a guaranteed win at 8.3. And it's going to make them a very good war team. So that is one tier 4 in a whole team that's going to really make that team. So I cannot stress that enough. Miss Marvel's tier 4 is absolutely huge. Right, then we move down. Now let's have a little look if we've got a duplicate there. No, we haven't. So we're going to go to Shocker at 25, Rhino at 25, Scarlet Witch at 25, Deadpool at 25, and Green Goblin at 24. Then we move down the list to Psylocke at 24, Human Torch at 24, Mr. Fantastic at 23, Nobu at 23, Vulture at 22, Hulk at 22, 3 red stars on him, Mysterio at 22, Colossus at 22, America Chavez and Vision both being at 22s there. Then we move down to the OG himself, Mr. Crossbones at 21, The Thing at 21, Yondu at 21, Shield Operative at 20, Korath at 20, Hand Assassin at 20, Bullseye at 19, Namor at 19, Iron Man at 19, and Merc Lieutenant at 18.7. Then we move down to Quake at 18.4, Merc Riot Guard at 17, Black Widow at 16, Elektra, Shield Trooper, Miles Morales, Ant-Man, Hand Sorceress, Cable, and Black Panther, all between the 16 and 11 mark. So we're definitely getting down towards the lower end of the roster here, with Hawkeye at 9, Blade Master, Hand Sentry, Mr. Sinister, and Ravager at 8, Merc Sniper, Carnage, Nebula, Cyclops, and Captain America between 8 and 6. And then we move a little bit further down to Ravager Boomer, Wasp, Kingpin, Venom, Crystal, Ravager Bruiser, Night Nurse, a Monstrosity, the one that I would be focusing on. And it looks like you've actually got a lot more shards there as well for a Monstrosity to boost him up a little bit quicker. A Monstrosity would be the one, even at a lower red star. Strife at 5, Hydra Sniper at 4, 1. And then we move over to Hydra Scientist, Hydra Rifle Trooper, Grenadier, Aim Infector, Winter Soldier, Killmonger, Merc Soldier, and M'Baku Okoye, Taskmaster. And then we go to Hydra Armor Guard, Hand Archer, Yo-Yo, Karnak, Corvus Glaive, and Toad. The ones that have been not unlocked yet are Symbiote, Spider-Man, Cull Obsidian, Blob, Proxima Midnight, Ultimus, Black Bolt, Ebony Maw, Ironheart, and Red Skull. So, we've got a lot to work on. I've got a few ideas, but we are going to check out the save squads and see what we can see. So, right, top of the shop, no surprise. We knew that it was coming. 321k defenders, as I've already said. Definitely stop at this point. It's worth getting Punisher and Iron Fist up to 7 stars. It is. Let's make no bones about it. It's worth taking them up to 7 stars. But certainly no more gear, no more levels, nothing like that. That's a solid team, as is at 321. it's a good team. They're decent in war. I find them a tricky opponent. I find like a lot of people underestimate defenders, try and punch up too big at their peril and end up getting turned over and then have to reset, combat cancelled, that type of thing. They're that type of team as opposed to one that's going to be like the staunch, like tons of defense wins. So they're a decent team, and they can also counter, punch down, and get really well against Marauders. Anyone that really needs debuffs on your team, Jessica Jones can cleanse them. So it's a solid team without a shadow of a doubt. Moving on then, and we've got a pretty much old school Guardians team. We've got Drax in there with Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Star-Lord and Mantis. Solid position in there as well on both teams, I might add, with Daredevil being next to Luke Cage. He's going to eat that splash damage up, hopefully dodge that splash damage. Punisher's going to get the ump and counter. On this particular team, Star-Lord's going to be feeding all of that energy over to Groot. Over to Rocket Raccoon, and Rocket Raccoon's going to be able to put out a ton of damage. Then we go down to the OG Brotherhood. Again, solid team. The only thing that I would be looking at to do here is maybe bring Pyro up a little bit. Eventually send these guys off once you've got Toad and Blob. But level 71 for Magneto, for me, is a bit of a key component, without a shadow of a doubt, for his extra focus. Then we go down to Coulson Shield. And I like this a lot. One thing I would say on positioning is separate Coulson and Shield. Basically, when you're countering Coulson and Shield, the first thing you want to do is kill Medic. First thing, kill Medic, then kill whoever. You know, get rid of Coulson, whatever. But kill Medic. Because Medic's always going to bring Coulson back. What you've done by putting them together is basically making it a very AoE, easy splash damage target. So try and separate them. Maybe put Medic over there with Shield Security there. So if they do have to target Shield Security, they might go right, they might go left. You know, they're only going to hit one of them. That would be the positioning for me. Maybe with Fury in the middle. So, yeah, definitely try and separate them guys. And that's going to help out as well in Blitz. At 181k power, we've got the Kree team there. But instead of a full Kree team, we've got Minerva there. Now, Minerva's very, very useful in a lot of teams. So we may have to have a little look at that. And is there anyone better? So Minerva, at that point, is 49k. And what we're going to find at 49k with the healer being at 49k. And the only AoE that she's got is actually stealing the percentage of health. This team might lose more often than not in the later stages. So can we put a healer with a bigger blaster and then try and pad this up and maybe make Ronan and Kree Ravager the bigger hitters on this team? Might be an idea. Then we move down to a very, very makeshift, thrown this together at 1,000 power, and I have no idea why it's there. One thing I would say about this is Taskmaster, dude. Taskmaster. Holy moly. The mercs are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Well worth some investment in right now. Why is that, Shanks? Well, first and foremost, they're beastly. And I mean beastly. Even at the 150 to 200k power mark. Beastly in war defense. Absolutely great team. Lots of teams struggle with them. Lots of teams. And as a result of that, they're also really, really good in Blitz. They're one of my teams that even at a low power, I can pretty much guarantee they're going to win at 8.3. So by leveling up Taskmaster, you're going to fill up a war defense room and you're going to start winning more in Blitz with him. So without a shadow of a doubt, getting that Merc team ready to go is well worth it. Then we move down to a, it's a bit of an AoE team this. So we've got Korath, who's a mercenary. We've got Thanos, who will eventually move over to Black Order. We've got Kree Cyborg. We've got Kree Oracle, and we've got Yondu for that big AoE as well. Now, this might be the team that I would actually separate and put Minerva into, and then maybe put either Kree Cyborg into that other team. Might make a little bit more sense. Again, Kree Cyborg's got a decent attack on his special, on his A2. And then Minerva is then going to keep these guys alive, maybe like be able to revive Thanos or something like that. It might be a little bit better of a shout. Then we move down to 140k with the can't think of their name, the Brawlers, Hero Brawlers. Bloody hell, that was hard. And again, solid tier 4s on her. You're laughing. And this will be a really solid team. And again, you can't go wrong by taking up Captain Marvel even further. because again, she's just going to work in so many game modes. She's a great character, really is. Now, one of my favourite teams is the Power Armor. Absolutely love them. I really do love them. And I like the fact that Vision's the lowest, or one of the lowest, because obviously we're going to get Ironheart coming into the game soon. Vision still does a stand-up job, guys. Make no bones about it. This is a fantastic war offense team. Make sure you're using these guys on war offense. If any of you out there are using Power Armor on war defense, stop it. Stop it now. All right? I ain't messing around with you. I'm talking to you. Get them off. Get them off. They are built for war offense, guys, not defense. Stop it. You do not need them in defense. Get them on offense. War Machine, Falcon, they are built for war offense. Every time I see Power Armor in defense, I laugh, a chuckle. Easy clap. Stop it. They're a great team. So, and really good in Blitz as well. Make sure when you're using them to pay attention to the speed and stuff like that. If the enemy's got any buffs, make sure you're using Falcon Special turn 1. Wait for Vision's offense up for turn 2 Falcon. Bop! Team's dead. Ta-da. Move on. Next. So, yeah, just basically great team. Level them up. They're great. Love them. And what? Then we're moving on to Supernatural. One of my favourite teams. One of them that I'm type of working on the back burner at the moment. This Supernatural team is such a big counter for so many teams in war, depending on what tier 4s. Now, they're fairly tier 4 investment heavy. You want to be looking at Ghost Rider, Strange, and Mordo, mainly Mordo, for tier 4s, but very, very tier 4 investment heavy. But once you've got those tier 4s in this team, holy moly, they can counter some big old teams, man. So, absolutely great team. Well worth to keep an eye on. They're good power level at the moment. So I wouldn't say they're a definite let's drop everything and start working on them, because again, Ghost Rider not being farmable, bit of a pain in the arse, but definitely keep an eye on it. When they're all farmable, it's well worth going for. Then we move down to the OG X-Men. The OG X-Men are literally like, it's Phoenix, right? It's the Phoenix show. Dark Dimension 3 is the Phoenix show. Phoenix is the Phoenix show. There's nothing more you can say about this team. You can get the rest of them up for 3 points, or you can just let the Phoenix clear up wherever. It doesn't matter. It's Phoenix. Like, whatever. What are we even talking about? It's Phoenix. And then we move down to a very makeshift Wakandan team with Mercs in there and Winter Soldier. At 1,714 power, let's bin that team off, man. Let's just bin it off. Unless we're using it for the first rotation and then never looking at it again. And one thing I would say as well, flicking through these, is use the power levels as a gauge, or use what can win at 12.3. 8.3 and then below. So one thing, like leading up to a blitz, if I'm really going hard at a blitz, guys, this will work for everyone, right? You want to use your full roster, you want to use everyone that you can leading up to a blitz. Get to that 8.3 multiplier. Then you want to start with your biggest teams at 8.3 and work your way down. Now, what you want to do is everyone that can guaranteed win at 8.3, get them at the top and then work your way down. And then you might have some questionable teams in the middle, but they will win at like 8 points. So if the questionable team loses, your next one's going to start building that multiplier up. And it works so well. The reason why you're starting at the top is so your big guys get that big multiplier, and it's massive. So definitely something to keep an eye on. And some of the real small filler teams, if you're only using it once in a rotation, probably not worth having there. And again, this isn't really a placeholder team, because this isn't a team that I would look to build upon or make. One thing that you can do is, once you've gone through your rotation of your meta teams, your Supernaturals, your X-Men's, your AIM, your Hydras, whatever, once you've gone through a rotation of your meta teams, then it's worth having a look and going, right, who's left over? You know, like, right, can we build a team around Crossbones? Can we build a team around Yondu? That type of thing is worth building like that once you've gone through. But once you've got like, all right, I'm going to put that 200 in, and these are 200 and these are 200, but they're not actually a team. Like, the core of this is a team, but the other two have got nothing to do with them, you know? It's not really worth having as a placeholder, in my opinion, guys. So, right, we're moving on down to the Sinister Six. Fantastic punch-up potential. versus defenders. Well worth looking at a little bit further. But I like the 120k mark, 120k for the Fantastic Four, 116k at the moment for the Asgardians. But we already know the Asgardians are the focus at the moment, and I can't even dispute that. You know, I can't even dispute that. Anyone that's working on Asgardians at the moment isn't doing anything wrong. You know, if you're looking at what team, if you're really unsure what to work on, and you go, I'm going to work on Asgardians till I pick something different, that you're not doing it wrong. You know, Asgardians are phenomenal. They're not going to let you down for a long time. They're not going to be power crept out for a while. They will eventually, they all do, but they're not going to be power crept out eventually, and for a while even. Then we move down to the AIM team. Again, nothing wrong with this team. I would put in Monstrosity instead of Researcher, as I said. I feel like AIM Monstrosity brings a lot more to the table. But as far as Blitz goes, this will probably actually still get quite a few Blitz wins. So it's not bad for the extra points while you're working on building up Monstrosity. Then we go to the Ultron team. Now, this is an interesting team here, this Ultron team, because Ultron's going to carry the team regardless, right? And so what I would say is put in your big hitters with him. So if these are your biggest hitters that you're not using, then you're doing it right. Because Ultron's going to carry this team regardless. He's an absolute beast. And then for War, I would be actually using this team above with Ultron, and this is going to give you huge punch-up potential on a whole host of teams. Aimtron is ridiculous. Then we move down to a bit of a Merc team as well, with Crossbones in there as the biggest hitter. It's going to be a nice little Blitz team, this. Again, this will be a team that will fit really well with Merc, with Taskmaster, once you've got him leveled up a little bit, even dropping Crossbones and making this an absolute beastly team. I like it a lot. Moving on down towards Hand's only worth working on if you're going through the Catalyst events and stuff like that. If you're particularly struggling on Catalysts, it's worth working on. If not really. Nobu and Assassin obviously being the exceptions because they help unlock legendaries. So I would leave this team where it is at this point in time, unless I was making a bit of a push towards gear. They're certainly not going to be a Blitz team that's going to help you out. There's certainly not going to be a War team that's going to help you out. But if you're moving down towards working on the Catalysts, because that event is coming up once a month, it's not a bad team to have a bit on the back burner. Then we move down to 76k, like Avengers type thing. I like that. Solid position in there as well for Trooper, with Captain America going to get the Taunt. Trooper's then going to be able to go back and everything. And I believe you had a Hulk as well at one point. And Hulk could also make, if you can get Hulk up to about 10k, Hulk could make a nice little appearance on this team as well. I don't know really who instead of maybe Quake, when Quake goes off to join the rest of the Inhumans, could work. But Quake at the moment is the big damage there. Then we move down to an Ant-Man combination with Hawkeye, Shuri, Cable. We're already using Cable on that Ultron team, so that's definitely worth having a look at. See if we can even put in Wasp in there to get Ant-Man that little bit of a bonus. The Ant-Man and Wasp combo works really nicely, and then you're not going to double up on Cable. Let's be fair, there's no point in doubling up on Cable. Then we move down to the Symbiotes with the Marauders. Now, I like this at the moment because you haven't got Symbiote Spider-Man. You haven't got some of the key components for the new Brotherhood. So you're still using the OG Brotherhood instead of that. Nothing wrong with this team at all. Hydra, nothing wrong with this team. Obviously, he's going to get jogged on the second you get Red Skull, and that's going to be a bit of a beast. And then I'm guessing we're moving down towards a bit of a different kettle of fish here with these bottom ones. So we've got, again, we're using the Defenders, but with Spider-Man and Miles Morales. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this isn't a Blitz team or anything like that. I'm not sure what this team is. And then we move down to Ultron, and these look like your raid teams. And absolutely nothing wrong. I don't know what raid you're doing. I'm guessing Ultima 6, because I feel like this will really struggle in Ultima 7. If you're looking at making a push for Ultima 7, I would definitely recommend getting Shuri built up, and either who could else help you on this roster? Probably Hela. So Shuri and Hela would be the logical step for this team to move into like Ultima 7. They would help out massively. And then we're using the Hulk. And again, I'm not sure if this is a Blitz team because a lot of these guys have already been used. And that might be one thing, is just literally go through these rosters, use all your teams that you can, and then work out who you haven't used. You know, rather than doubling up, because you don't want to be spending cores, especially on low teams, to be able to go through it. Now, with Ultron being used 3 times, that's going to start to get really, really, really bloody expensive. So, bit of a roundup. And I think we've covered tons of information, guys. I hope it's helped. I know I've ranted on tons. What would I be focusing on right now? Taskmaster, Mercenaries, I would be focusing on, would be my core focus. Not to a huge amount. A lot of these guys, I would be getting up to, right, let's get them to gear, level 60, gear tier 10. Then let's work from there. So Taskmaster and the Mercs would be my first call for War and for Blitz. And then making small incremental changes to random teams is going to help. You've got a very good structure now. You know, you've got the good foundation for all these teams. Now let's just build upon the core ingredients to make the ship rock, baby. Right, that is it for me today. I hope I haven't gone on too much, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the content. I hope I've been entertaining while going on my little rants. And if you have, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. If you want to talk to me in person, Discord links down below. You can catch me over at my live stream, which is www.twitch.tv/Shanksy. I hope to see you over there, guys. But until next time, be smart, be strong, be safe. I'll see you on the flip side. Take it easy.